Welcome in, welcome in. I am going to give a few minutes to get some people in for this live event. So, welcome to my live event. If you are here, give me a like. Make sure that you share this with your audience. So, like and share. All right, so for those of us who are already live and ready to get to it, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am Professor Carter, and this is English and Literature 101 through Hillmantok University. So if you are here, that means that you are locked in with this course and you are ready to learn all there is to learn about the content that I'll be sharing with you. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into our schedule for today. So, as a start, this is a 60-minute session. If you are able to uh, stay for the entire time, then feel free to do so. If you are unable to, then that's perfectly fine. No worries. Just, feel free to watch the replay. I will have it posted here as well as the link in my bio and on my YouTube page. And give me by the end of the week to get it to YouTube because there's just a lot of content. Okay. So, again, one way to support my work is going to be liking, sharing, and engaging in the live content, as well as the pre recorded videos, which you will find on my TikTok page. I'm not sure how other instructors are doing their setup, but for me, everything will be posted here and it'll be tagged under the available little content where you can find like all the videos for this session. So definitely feel free to watch all of the previously recorded ones and just kind of learn all there is to learn. So if you would like to contribute, donate, or any of those things, feel free to do so during the live sessions. You can, donate, like, whatever it is, but that'll help me to continue to provide great content and resources for you. Hey, thank you. Um, so as a start, I want to kind of introduce myself and then go a little bit more into the course that we will be focusing on. So I'm Professor Carter. I am a writer, an educator, and I love all things literature. I have been immersed in this whole world of English and lit for many years. I started my bachelor's in 2008. So I have a bachelor's in English, a master's in English and creative writing, a master's in public relations, and I am 30 credits into my PhD in English. That's a whole lot of English, but it is my strong suit. It's my forte. It's something that I can do in my sleep. So that is why I am here to contribute to this community and to provide you with all of the resources, the knowledge, and everything that I have to give so that we all can be stronger together. Um, I think that my goal, my purpose is to help others, and doing that is through helping them share their voice. So know that everything that you do in life is going to be reflective of your voice, your values, your belief system. And a lot of that is what we are going to be exploring through this course. So, as a start, you can find the syllabus for this class directly under the link in bio. Okay, so you'll click on the link in bio. It's going to say that this is going to take you to a website outside of TikTok, which is perfectly fine. Once you click OK, it'll take you directly to the syllabus and you can download it. Now, all of the curriculum that I am providing for the next 16 weeks, because yes, y'all, my class is 16 weeks long. You will not be done until summer. But everything that I'm providing is all of the material that I created myself. So, again, my expertise, my knowledge, my understanding of all of these materials, resources that I think will be very helpful for you in understanding the purpose of this course so that you can really have a great experience. And this is for anyone who just simply wants to learn and understand how English and literature play a key role in connecting us with the rest of the world. So, again, you can download the full syllabus, which is going to be available at the link in bio. It's going to outline everything you need to know, including the weekly topics, the reading resources, the assignments, because yes, y'all gonna have some assignments, all of that good stuff. And I want to kind of go over that as well. So I'll share the course description, the objectives, and then just kind of briefly go through the required resources and all of that. So again, this is an introductory video. Thank you all for joining. For those of you who are here, if you are just now joining in to catch the beginning of this content or at any point, you'll be able to view this recording once I save it to my profile. So I'll save it to my profile as well as my other platforms for you to view this information. When you are accessing the resources, what I've done is compiled a list of required resources for this course. Again, like I shared in my introductory video, that all of them are going to either be free or some of them will require a payment. However, it's not going to be anything over $3. That should be perfect for you all to invest in yourselves. Like, I strongly encourage you to do that. If I can find the resources free, then of course I will provide them for you. But I have compiled a list of everything that you will need. And the best way to be successful in this course is for you to actually engage. That's going to be the only way that I know what information you're retaining, how well you are grasping what I am sharing with you, and what your strengths or weaknesses are. The goal is for you to fully understand everything that I'm teaching. So, these sessions, thank you for asking that question. So the live sessions are going to start every Tuesday, Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Time. If you are on Eastern, that's going to be 12 your time. If you are on Mountain Time, that's going to be 10 a.m. your time. So 11 a.m. Central Time every Tuesday, Thursday is when we will have live sessions. These sessions are going to be great ways for you to join the live if you would like, so that you can interact with me, so that you can contribute to the rest of the class and kind of share your perspectives. Good morning. And so that you can just engage. But I'm also watching the chat as well. So if you are shy, then feel free to just drop some comments in the chat and I'll try to get to everyone as best as I can. Moving on to the next thing. So, the best way to measure your success is by what you know. A lot of us put these really strong, I guess, rules and regulations on ourselves when it comes to success. We're measuring it based on what someone else's vision of success is, but that's not how you should do for yourself. So, with this course, measure your success by what you have learned. If this week you learned something new that you didn't know yesterday, that's a level up in success, right? And that's how I want you to maintain it. If you are not understanding things that I'm teaching, then don't hesitate to reach out. You can inbox me and just say, hey, I joined in on the live, didn't really understand what you meant. Can you break this down further? And I will provide whatever resources I can to really help you and make sure that you understand. So let's get right into it. So, this course is going to explore the richness of African American literature from the origins in, oral traditions to contemporary works. So, we're going to go back as far as this goes. Yes, so I'm doing classes. This is English and Literature 101 for Hillmantok University. Alongside literary analysis, you will improve foundational grammar and writing skills, enhancing your clarity and confidence in communication. This course also includes live discussions, which are going to be held every Tuesday, Thursday at 11 a.m. Central, creative writing exercises and oral presentations to help you have a deeper understanding of literature and self expression. So remember that creative writing piece that I talked about. That's all going to be a part of this. Um, will I have an email? You can actually view the link in my bio and subscribe. Everyone who subscribes to my email from the link in bio, I will be providing direct resources to you before those live sessions and sending weekly reminders. So that way you can stay in the loop if you're not always logged into TikTok. The objectives for this course is going to be for you to analyze key works of African American literature and connect them to historical and social context, to understand and apply foundational and advanced grammar mechanics, develop oral and written communication skills through reflective and creative assignments, as well as using literature as a lens to explore identity, resilience, and justice. Okay? Some of the books and media that we are going to cover is going to be The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, The Souls of Black Folk, Their Eyes Were Watching God, The Fire Next Time, Sonny's Blues, Between the World and Me, poems by Langston Hughes, Nikki Giovanni, Phyllis Wheatley, Amiri Baraka, and August Wilson. And there are also going to be grammar resources that you'll use. So, me providing you with the best dictionaries and thesauruses, Grammarly, which is the free version, and then Hemingway Editor, which is something that I also teach my other students on how to build clear and concise writing. We'll also explore some literary archives that many of you may not be familiar with, which is going to be Project Gutenberg and the Poetry Foundation. So both of those resources are going to have all of the classic literature and poetry. So week one, which is this week, is focused on the foundations of this course. So this is my introductory video. On Thursday, we will begin focusing on oral traditions through classic spirituals. So that will be available in the syllabus for you to just kind of review. There will also be YouTube videos that are somewhat connected to a lot of the lessons. So if you are not a person that cares to read information and you prefer to listen to retain it, then there will be YouTube videos that I provide. And you can also join the link in my bio to take a look at those videos. Each week, I'll try to have those videos posted so that you have an easy, quick, accessible way to get to the content. Week two will focus on early African American literature. So we're going to go right into the literary aspect of things while also talking about your grammar mechanics, how to structure your sentences, and analyze the works. Week three will be slave narratives. Week four is going to be my very favorite of all time, and that's the Harlem Renaissance. That's my favorite era of African American literature. Week five will focus on grammar mechanics in action. Week six is the civil rights era. Week seven is contemporary African American poetry. Week eight is going to be your checkpoint week where you actually do your oral presentations. If you want to participate and make this a real experience, then I highly encourage it. If you are shy and don't want to do an oral presentation live, then that's perfectly fine as well. Week nine is going to be African American women writers. Week 10, the Black Arts Movement. Week 11 is African American literature in the 21st century. Week 12 is going to be grammar again. So we're going to talk about grammar challenges and revision techniques. Week 13 is African American drama. Week 14 is creative writing. Week 15 is literature. So your final literary discussion. And then week 16 is your final project week. So again, there are going to be some engaging activities for you all. If you take this seriously, then you'll have a lot of fun. You'll learn a lot. Some of this stuff you may already be familiar with. It may be works that you've already read, but think about it this way. When you read something for the first time, you're reading it for what? Entertainment, right? To understand the work at a glance for the first time. When you read it a second and third time, then you are analyzing it. So it's kind of like when we watch movies. If you watch it the first time, it's like, oh, I picked up on a lot of things, but it was really entertaining. But once you watch it again, whether it's during the same time period or years later, you start to pick up on things that you didn't really recognize the first time. To give you an example, one of my favorite movies of all time is Lion King One and a Half. Okay, that is the funniest movie ever. And I remember watching it when I was a freshman in college with all my friends. And we were all just kind of laughing and making fun of like the little funny stuff that was happening in the movie. But then we also like watched it some years later and was still joking about it and talked about the different things we did not pick up on in the original Lion King. Like there were so many things that you only could appreciate as an adult that you probably didn't recognize when you were watching it as a kid. So my whole point is that's how we understand literature. That's how we analyze literature. That's how we uh, find that level of appreciation that we have for it through seeing it through a different lens. And so that is what I'm going to be introducing to you all. Now, something that I think is also really important is we're in a digital age right now where everything is just moving so fast. Like social media is moving things at the speed of light, probably a little bit faster than that. And so when we're consuming information, sometimes it doesn't give us enough time to really sit with it, right? It's like an instant type of thing where you have to make a split second decision on how you want to react to it rather than being able to just sit with it for a couple days or however long and really understand what's happening. So the goal here is to help you develop skills that are going to allow you to quickly analyze things in a split second. Whether you're learning about something through social media, digital media, whether you're reading about it, whatever it is, you're going to develop the cognitive skills because ultimately that's what all of this is about. So you're developing the cognitive skills that allow you to really retain what you're experiencing. And then from there, you're able to make the critical thinking decisions that will ultimately change the dynamics of your relationship with English and reading. A lot of people feel that English and reading and writing are like the most challenging things on earth. And that's because in school settings, you're giving more stricter rules. You know, you have to write X amount of sentences. You have to deliver in this way. You have to talk about this type of thing. But this gives us a more creative boundary. So, you know, we're going to be exploring some stuff that's challenging to read. It's going to be a little cringe. The dialect and dialogue is going to be a little choppy at times. So if you are reading in your head or out loud and you stumble over your words or whatever the case is, that's perfectly fine. It's okay. That just means that you're being introduced to something that you're slightly unfamiliar with, and it's going to be a learning curve to really develop the skills that you need to appreciate the literature in the context that it exists in. So I hope that you all really, really, really enjoy what you'll be learning from me. Um, I'm really passionate about what I do, like really passionate. I've been teaching since 2021. Um, I remember being in school and I had applied for this one position as a professor first, let me just say this. This is my dream career, okay? A lot of people don't really talk about like thriving in their dream careers. This is my absolute dream. It's what I wanted to do since I was a little kid. I remember sitting in the neighborhood with my friends and playing school and all that type of stuff. So this is literally me living out my dream. And in 2021, I got the first phone call of being able to be a professor at a private university. I did it for my contract, for the length of my contract, which was 6 months, and they did not renew my contract. I like internally panicked. I was crying. I told my mother in law, like, look, I'm not doing this no more, not doing it. But if you are a believer, and it's okay if you're not, I'm speaking to those who are, um, you know that when it's your calling, it's your calling. Like it's literally your calling and there is no running from it. So I think I set out maybe another year. Like I set out for a year, did not teach for an entire year, ended up relocating to Georgia and got three teaching opportunities to start my career again as a professor. So I have been locked in since then. Um, I have taught maybe over at one of the schools I have taught about 15 classes. It's the school that I graduated from. So I've taught 15 there. I've probably done maybe 60 courses in the last couple years, maybe more than that. I'm a LinkedIn advisor and I have a blog on LinkedIn called The Rockstar Educator. So for those of you who are aspiring to be in higher education and you have the academic experience, feel free to check out the link in my bio. It shares a lot about my experience as a higher education professional, and I have a few books that will be very helpful for you starting your career there. But I say all this to say I'm serious about this, okay, y'all? I'm not just on here trying to go viral on TikTok. No, that's not what I'm here for. I'm literally here to change the culture for real. Because you can learn all about science, you can learn all about math, you can learn all about all of these different things. Think about every career that you are a part of, whether you are someone that works in finance, a doctor, a lawyer, a rapper, a musician, a pianist, whatever you are, none of that, none of that can exist without English. None of it can exist without writing. Okay? It does not matter the curriculum that these instructors are building, how you retain the information, how you apply for applications, how you apply for buying a house, how you get your credit fixed. None of that exists. None of that is something you can understand without first understanding how to analyze text, right? So, what I'm doing here on this platform is I'm going to school you for real. 16 weeks, we locked in. I am about to school y'all on how to develop the skills that you need to really, really critically think about what you are signing on the dotted line. So when y'all go work with these financial advisors, when you are applying for new jobs, new positions, when you're trying to develop your resume, whatever it is, I'm going to teach you how to understand text, how to understand the structure of sentences. Like it's going to get very simplistic at a point to where you feel like it's unnecessary for you to learn. But think about it like this, and I told this to one of my students the other day. We've been out of school for how long? How long have you been out of grade school? And then think about how long it's been since you studied the fundamentals that you learned in grade school: sentence structure, how to enunciate words, how to understand the difference between and there. They get y'all every time. Okay, I see it on social media all the time. So, knowing the differences between leaves and leaves, right? Because you got leaves on the ground and then you got people who are leaving somewhere. So, knowing the context, parallelism, um, knowing that our the professional term for ebonics is colloquialism, right? Those types of things. Like we gotta know how to speak the language. And I'm gonna teach you because I'm nerdy like that. And I love this and I've studied it forever. One of my classes in my PhD is the origin of English, and we're gonna get into some of those things. I remember taking etymology my 12th grade year in high school. And even though I skipped 90% of that class, my teacher was like 62 years old, y'all. I love that lady to this day. Okay, I love her. She was this older white lady, and she smoked cigarettes, so she had this raspy voice. But I love her to this day because everything that I remember about English, everything that I love about English, came from those teachers. All of the instructors that I've had over the years, whether I skipped their classes or not, they are the reason why I'm doing this. So, um, yeah, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of good material, but I want you to really like immerse yourself in this experience. Take it serious. Provide feedback, right? And really set yourself up for a better opportunity because for the culture of people who do not have a degree, right? Who do not have a higher education degree, and you have no idea what you're going to do for the rest of your life. As much as I advocate for having that piece of paper, I will say that I love to meet my students where they are. And meeting them where they are does not always look like somebody who's obtaining their PhD. It doesn't always look like somebody who went and got even an associate's degree, right? It's going to look like everyday people who are trying to figure out a better path for themselves. But sometimes we don't have the brain capacity to really think about what the next stage is. I can't figure out how to budget my money because it just doesn't make sense. And sometimes those types of things have nothing to do with math. It has everything to do with analyzing text, right? So again, everything that you're trying to figure out right now, don't put it in an AI program and let it tell you what you need to know because those types of things are just as faulty. Everything that you need to know on the surface of things need to be stuff that you truly understand. Now, if you need it to be broken down a little bit better, then that's okay, right? It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be afraid of with going back to the basics. So, there's a lot of things that you are going to learn in this class that may not even make sense. Why are we reading all these slave narratives? It's not necessarily about the narratives themselves. It's about the black experience. Real talk. Um, Frederick Douglass creating um, what was it, a newspaper for black people? People going into journalism and all of these content creators on social media in present day who are trying to teach us something, trying to teach us the code, trying to teach us the way. You got people who are builders, people who, like my sister, I kid y'all not. My sister is in her mid 50s, and she is one of the most creative people I've ever met in my life. And not because of books, not because of education, but because she just was born a creative. Like this lady has never studied um, architectural design, but has literally taught herself how to map out an entire house. Like she's the house that I'm about to move in, she owns the home and she's literally redesigning the entire home from just her own ideas. And it's creative because she's so talented in that way that you kind of sit back and be like, dang, like how can this person do that? Or I don't know if y'all remember when they talked about the guy who climbed, it was a black guy, climbed a building to save somebody from a fire. And they were like, he looked like Spider-Man. Where do all these talents come from and how do we use them? Right? And so everything that I'll be teaching in this class, even though it's a focus on English, even though it's a focus on literature, it's really ultimately about the black experience. People being creatives, people finding ways and making ways out of no way at all to do the things that they absolutely love. Someone who just joined my live, her name is Kay with the Vibes, another super creative person. I remember when I graduated, I told y'all about my bachelor's in English. I remember I started school in 2008. I got knocked off my pivot because I went through a divorce at that time, and I didn't end up graduating with my bachelor's until 2019. She designed the dress that I wore to my graduation. Like all I told her was what I wanted. She's in Louisiana, and at the time I think I was in Tennessee. And all she asked me was like, measure yourself, blah, blah, blah. I had no idea how to properly measure myself. So I was praying to God that when she delivered that dress, that it fit me. And it did. Like it was a perfect fit. I absolutely, I loved everything about it. And that was just so inspiring to me because you have to really be in tune with yourself and your creative side to be able to do things like that. So I say all this to say, like, all of us are creatives in some kind of way, right? But not everyone understands how to use their creative power. The best way to understand how to use your creative power is through what you'll learn in this class, like English literature. You cannot have one without the other because one sets the foundation for the story, the other actually tells the story. It's the blueprint, it's what's in writing. Um, and some topics are going to be very controversial. Some are going to be very controversial, and that's okay. Like you got to understand that this is different. And I'll say this as a person who has studied English my entire academic life. The discussions that we have online about religion and all of these things, like you can't even understand religion without literature. You can't. Like there is no way to actually understand religion without literature. And I'm not talking about people who go to school for theology, right? That's a form of it. I'm talking about the origin of it. And that's what I want to really emphasize here. So, again, y'all are about to be on a ride. We're going to have some real discussions. This is going to be a very unconventional experience because I want us to have real conversations in this space. I want us to feel open to share our ideas and how we understand and interpret information, even if it's not the same as our peers. Like this is an open platform. And if this platform doesn't give us the opportunity to be open and have these discussions, then we'll move it somewhere else. Zoom or Teams or whatever, I don't care. But we're gonna get into it and we're gonna talk about a lot of things that may ruffle some feathers. It's simply that. I remember taking a class my freshman year. I was in this English course with Professor Williams. I will never forget this lady, African American English teacher. And she started talking about ancestry and like tapping into all of that type of stuff. And I dropped her class. Like, I literally dropped her class because I was like, nope, not about to get myself involved in it. Like, I'm not trying to dig up history and, find out about where the origin of my name came from and all this type of stuff. But years later, I was like, dang, I understand what she was trying to do. I understand what she was introducing me to. I was just too afraid of it at the time. That's that's where this type of thing takes you. It puts you in an uncomfortable place. All the dialogue and conversations that people have here on this platform, they can get uncomfortable. They can get challenging. They can get heated. But when you understand how to articulate yourself in a way that you don't have to get nasty with people, you don't have to be rude with anybody, you are confident, and there's a difference. There's a difference in being confident in what you say and how you say it versus being nice nasty. I tell my kids all the time, know how to use your words. My daughter has been obsessed with cursing, and she doesn't know why. She just, she's at that age where she's kind of exploring bad things. And I'm like, instead of whooping her or feeling like she needs to be on punishment or something like that, I'm building her confidence by telling her, you know words and you know how to use them. You can deliver the same message as calling somebody a bitch by saying it in another way. It's still nasty in a sense, but you know how to say it correctly. Um, Anybody who took Spanish in high school, what was the first thing that we tried to all learn? The cuss words, right? We all have wanted to know cuss words in Spanish. Or, when we were trying to create our own little language growing up and all that, we did that because we wanted to be able to say certain things without saying it. It's the same thing with understanding English and literature. Like, you're saying things that sometimes are going to go above people's heads, or it's going to be delivered in such a way like you can't help but to step back and be like, hold on now, what? So that's what this course is going to be about. Um, like I said, if you are just now joining, make sure that you like, share, and engage in the lives. The sessions are held every Tuesday, Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Time. So that's 10 a.m. Mountain Time and 12 p.m. Eastern. To get the syllabus, you can go to the link in my bio. It's going to take you directly there. You'll have access to the direct download for the syllabus as well as my website where all of the course content will be hosted as well. I'm not going to have you all navigate to other platforms. Like, everything that I'm going to teach is going to be right here on TikTok. If for any reason I become filtered or unable to deliver in the way that I wish, then you'll always have a update on where you can find my content. So I highly encourage you to also click that link and subscribe to my emails. I know emails is probably an old school thing. A lot of people don't use them, but I'm going to be sending a lot of resources, a lot of helpful information, and all of that to keep us connected. If you're not comfortable with sharing your name and all that type of stuff, then I understand there's a such thing as email aliases. I'm a tech geek, So if you don't want direct emails or whatever, you can get email aliases and just use that. I don't care how you subscribe, just subscribe to the content because it's going to be helpful, it's going to be insightful. I'm going to change my information on here. I think I was doing gaming for a little while, so I'll make sure that the lives are set up specifically for this. If it's outside of a Tuesday, Thursday that you see me live, I'm probably not talking about this type of content. But I'll keep it as structured as possible so that you don't have to do a whole deep dive search for any of my information online. I'm going to give y'all back a few minutes. Yes, I'm one of those professors. I let class out a little early. So I'm going to give you all a few minutes of your time back. Now would be a great time to do Q&A. So if you have any questions that you want to ask me, feel free to drop them in the chat while we still have a few minutes left, and I'm happy to answer. If not, then I will see y'all on Thursday. So I'm going to give y'all the rest of the time to drop things in the chat. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Again, give me some likes, some shares, show some love, and we're going to keep this thing going for the next 16 weeks. This is week 1, so make sure you download the syllabus. It's a lot of helpful information, a lot of resourceful information. I encourage you to read ahead on some of the readings just so that you can get a head start. Some of that old school literature is long. Um, a lot of it is. If you do not like to read, a lot of resources can be found on YouTube. So you may have some live readings or a summary of what the context is about. But again, remember that what we're aiming to do here is understand how to analyze text as well. So please engage with it. Any questions? Any questions? All right. If there are no more questions, I'm about to go enjoy me some lunch. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining. Again, like, share, engage, and click the link in my bio to download the syllabus and subscribe to email. I'm not going to flood your emails with 1,001 things, but I will share the important information. That way, if you miss a live session, which I hope you don't, you'll still know where to access the backup resources. Okay? All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. I will see y'all on Thursday.